I'm back at it again with another saga of Crime Scene Kitchen. A lot of fans who watched my previous recap said, oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Atlantic Beach Pie moment. That moment was legendary. I would never talk about the Atlantic Beach Pie moment. Not on its own, anyway. I don't think you can talk about it without talking about the overall arc. But first, I have a disclaimer. This is a show that is heavily edited. I am going to be talking smack about some of their actions, but know that I'm doing it with love in my heart, and I'm judging within the context of this edited show. Not all of reality TV can be faked, but a lot of it can. So don't be hateful. And also just know that everyone on this show is a good baker. Probably. Now, with that out of the way, Crime Scene Kitchen. Something mysterious has been baked in the kitchen, and contestants in teams of 2 have to investigate the kitchen, deduce what has been made, and recreate the dish to the best of their ability. Joel McHale hosts it, while Yolanda Gamp and Curtis Stone are judges. In this season, the teams are split into groups of 2, where one group have been taught at culinary schools, whereas the other group are all self-taught and kind of have learned everything on their own. We're going to be focusing on the self-taught baking group, Steph and Cherry, even more specifically, 2 friends from Baltimore. Episode 1, they're all smiles, they're chipper, they're energetic, and they're ready to take the culinary world by storm and bake the correct dessert. So in the immunity round, the clues are pretty standard. We have a pie tin, we have some lemons, we have a zester with what some people think is just lemon zest, or some people think it's lime, or some people think it's a mix. We have what looks to be a lemon curd. Critical clue is that the food processor has been used. Now, there's a jar of graham crackers on the counter, so most people conclude that a graham cracker crust is made. But not Steph and Cherry. Steph takes one look at the food processor and determines that the crust was actually made from saltine crackers. Were the graham crackers just a red herring? Steph and Cherry start deliberating, and they come to the conclusion that it is both a lemon and lime pie with a saltine crust. Specifically, Cherry took a vintage book from a library and found this old recipe for something called boardwalk pie. It sounds strange to them, but Steph definitely saw saltine crackers in there, so that's what they're gonna go with. Now, look, I know I went hard on the basque cheesecake, probably undeservedly, but if you had told me, who at the point of watching this show had only eaten like New York cheesecake, to take a cake, bake it at 450 degrees until the top is dark, I would be a bit skeptical of that. But if you told me that it's a thing that actually exists and there is a logic behind the top being darkly caramelized, I would be intrigued and I would drop the skepticism. I'm still skeptical about boardwalk pie. I know lemon squares. I've baked them a bunch and eaten them a bunch. I see there's probably some kind of logic of like sweet and salty with the sugar and the saltines, but you also have the like sourness of the lemon and lime to mix in there. So I don't know. I'm reserving judgment because I am curious, but I do think that's a hard sell. It's definitely rare for a reason because no one else makes this pie. They all make some variation of lemon or lime or mixed citrus pie. And then to the bewilderment of everyone, Steph and Cherry serve their boardwalk pie. Curtis says that unfortunately their whipped cream has been solidified, but the curd is good, and I'm a freak who would eat solidified whipped cream, so I would eat this. Everyone is balking at this. Saltines in a food processor? Absurd. Except they're fucking right. The show calls it an Atlantic Beach pie, but it's got all the same components of whipped cream, mixed citrus, and a saltine cracker crust for some reason, but it doesn't matter why it's there. What matters is Steph and Cherry got it right, and therefore they win immunity for this episode. But it doesn't end there, folks. We go to next episode's immunity bake. There's a card in the kitchen that says, figure out which brownies you can make. They also find 2 brownie pans, which look huge, by the way. But what does it mean? Well, there's a bunch of recipe cards on the kitchen island with different recipes of brownies, and there are ingredients scattered about. So the question just is what brownies were made. There's creme de menthe, mint extract, and cream cheese that have been used, which all correspond to a creme de menthe brownie recipe card. Only Steph and Cherry find instant coffee, oats, and cinnamon, which correspond to a recipe card for coffee crumb or coffee streusel. So that's what they're gonna go with. And so brownies, and everyone at least has the creme de menthe brownies. Fatty and T took a look at the big ass brownie pans and decided that one big brownie cake had been made with cream cheese as the frosting. Michelin star chef Curtis Stone says it's one of the best brownies ever had. I love a mint and chocolate pairing. I desperately wish I was there. Steph and Cherry present their duo of a creme de menthe brownie with a chocolate ganache on top and coffee streusel brownie. The judges try them, they're delicious, they're decadent. Michelle says if they win safety again, I'm gonna lose it, which is very dramatic, I know, but I get it, stakes are high. So we get to the reveal where the baking Bermuda Triangle, aka the Confectionator 3000. There is a creme de menthe brownie, which everyone got right. Also, it's topped with a chocolate ganache that we didn't see any clues of in the kitchen, but I guess it was there the whole time.
And a coffee brownie with an oat cinnamon crumb topping.
Gasp. Chaos ensues. Michelle thankfully doesn't lose it, but most importantly, Steph and Cherry get immunity again. So that's the end, right? Wrong. So, in Crime Scene Kitchen, you have to expect the unexpected. Just when you think you know everything, they're gonna bundle all that knowledge up and chuck it right off a cliff. We can start with knowing that there's possibly apples or pears used, a ton of eggs have been used, there's a pie tin, boom, mozzarella, bacon. Savory ingredients in my Crime Scene Kitchen? It's more likely than you think. What's more, in the fridge, there's a lunchbox that seems to have apple and pear slices and a bacon sandwich. So are they trying to throw these guys off? Also, this is straight up just a bacon and bread sandwich. If you at least want to pretend to have depth, put some fucking lettuce in there. Only Steph and Cherry noticed that there seems to be tomatoes and basil on the cutting board.
We're making cake.
No one's done a savory bake before.
Yeah, I feel like that is a realistic twist that would be on the show.
They're expecting the unexpected. They're going meta with it. Just because it's baked doesn't mean it has to be sweet. By the way, Nene Leakes has been guest judging this episode. She's not really a prominent character in this arc, but she is there. Some teams also follow suit and make savory dishes, but they use the bacon. Some teams stick to the status quo and just make desserts. Hannah and Kathleen make a pie with apple and mozzarella, which they acknowledge is crazy, but they're at their wits' end trying to throw all these ingredients together. Steph and Cherry present their quiche. It's got tomatoes, basil, mozzarella. The judges don't love the quiche, saying that the bottom of it is a little bit raw, but it's okay. We can't be perfect all the time. Besides, it doesn't necessarily matter that you make the best dish. You just have to make the correct dish. And they get it right. I can't build it up a third time. You guys know where this video is going. It's a caprese quiche. They did it. This is fate knowing how to complete her comedy rule of thirds. Steph and Cherry have collapsed in relief. They've not only just earned immunity, they're going to the merge, where they're gonna meet and compete with the classically trained bakers. And so concludes Steph and Cherry's detecting journey. They read the clues and understood the matter to a T, and their vibes are absolutely immaculate. We do not talk about the gravity cake. We don't. No, but really, look at these two icons and appreciate the journey they've been on. It was amazing to watch in real time. Anyways, that's it from me at the moment. I'm not sure what show I'm gonna do next. I do love Crime Scene Kitchen, and I will probably recap it again at some point in the future, but I also want to show the judges' versatility and talk about other shows I love. Genius, there's Top Chef, there's The Mole. No one in this world knows what whodunit is, and it is a goddamn shame. I'll figure it out, but take care until then.